don't think I'm considered a hoe no more. I don't really got nobody in the last like 2 or 3 years.
She said no more. Don't say no.
No, your wholeness can get deleted.
I just wanna be prepared. Get myself ready for what's coming for me. Yeah, yeah. I just wanna be prepared. Hear me now.
Hi everybody, I am Jordyn Anese, and today I am releasing a project, and I've named that project 10 Years a Slave. Now when you hear the term slave, you think of someone who is in bondage or who is owned by an actual physical master or a human being. But in this actual video, within this actual project, I'm talking about myself being a slave to my sex drive. So we'll just jump right in. With that being said, I chose celibacy a year ago. In February 2016, I chose to be celibate. And I made that choice for a few reasons. One being, at one point in my life, I was in a situation where I felt like a piece of meat. You could say like a piece of meat sexually. I was with somebody and it just kind of felt like that's the only depth we had was sex, and it was so much of it, and it felt like it was always something that I had to do versus something that I wanted to do, and that just made me feel like a piece of meat. And in that time, I remember feeling like you got to do something different. This is not the life that you're supposed to have. This is not, you know, what God is calling you to do. And I remember thinking about celibacy at that point, but it was literally just a thought, like one ear and out the other. So after that, time went on, and of course, I wasn't celibate. I indulged. I went right back to my old lifestyle. So after that, you know, time went on, and a couple other different things happened. But another major key, or another major reason I chose celibacy as of last year, February, was because I ran into a situation where, you know, I lost my best friend. And in losing her and losing somebody that close to me and that near and dear, I was trying to hold myself together. So here I am holding myself together, trying to make myself look like I got it all together and I don't need anybody, when really I was spiraling out of control. And with that, I turned to the one thing that I felt like was something that made me feel a little bit better, and that was obviously having sex. So I had sex with someone and they gave me an STD. However, it was curable, but I didn't know about the STD until I started having weird symptoms, and I went and I got checked out and I got the call. So getting the call is one thing, right? Having to look at yourself like, girl, you got an STD. Like, though you can take something for it and get rid of it and nobody will ever have to know. The flip side of that is somebody did have to know, because at the time I found out, I was seeing someone who I thought I saw a future with, and we were sexually active. So someone had to know, and in having to make that phone call or having to tell somebody who you care about or somebody who you thought you had a future with that you have an STD, it's not their fault, but they might want to get checked out, is one of the most humbling situations ever I've ever experienced. I can't speak for anybody else, but it's one of the most humbling situations ever, and it just made me sit in my mess. And just, I was crying, I was pitiful, but sit in my pity and my mess and just hear God tell me, like, this is not the plan I had for you, and you know what the plan was, so you need to get with that plan. So shortly after, not even shortly, like 2 seconds after I had to make the call, I made the decision that, okay, I played with celibacy before, but we're going to do this for real now, because I've spiraled out of control. I've let my grief get to me. I've let my sex drive like demand me and make me be somebody who I'm not supposed to be. So that's when I came to the point of being celibate, in which where I am now. Since then, I've noticed that celibacy is not just about sex. Though it does help you control, you know, your sexual desires, the things you do, the way you think, but it actually helps you with discipline. It helps you to discipline yourself. It helps you to put yourself in a place of order. And ever since then, there's been like there's been like a really strong sense of discipline within me. I'm able not to try to talk to people who I know aren't good for me. You see it coming a mile away, and it's something that you just don't want anymore. God has opened so many doors for me since then. At this point, I'm very active with the youth in my church, and like they look to me for things. They look up to me as a person, and just knowing that there's somebody else watching me is a part of what keeps me going on this walk. Celibacy isn't the easiest thing, because it's almost like as soon as you tell somebody who you might be interested in that you're celibate, it's over, it's a wrap. Like, they don't want nothing to do with it because it's not their walk. But that's when you have to be strong in your decision and know that this decision has made you better. One thing that I would like to stress to anybody looking to take on this journey is to really have some time to yourself and to think about what it is you've been losing, what it is you've been giving too much away of before you do this, because those are the things that's going to keep you in it. That's going to focus you and make you understand that this is not about you. Though it's you doing it, it's not about you. It's about somebody else who has their purpose attached to you. It's about you actually living out what it is God called you to be, as far as being greater than what you were prior to. I would like to encourage anybody who wants to take on this walk to seek self first. Look into yourself, understand who you are, understand who you want to be, and you'll be pretty successful. So today, this month, I celebrate 1 year of being celibate after 10 years of being a slave to my own sex drive.
I let the queen inside, I let her shine. I've been listening for God more